It's time for me to start getting my potatoes ready. I'm going to be getting them in the ground a little bit earlier this year. I still have the garden area to prep. I've got to get all my soil moved. And I still have a lot of work ahead of me. I have butterballs and Yukon Golds. Those are our favoritist. Got quite a few. And I'm going to go ahead and cut these roughly into 4 sections. Now those are the butterballs. Yes, you good girl. You good girl. Come on, baby. Now that's a Yukon Gold. You can kind of tell because it's a little bit wider. The butterballs are a little different shade than the Yukon Golds. They actually look like butter. I'll just go ahead and lay these on their skin side and let them start curing. There's different ways that you can cure your potatoes if you cure them at all. Now I know some people have put them in the ground just like this and had success, but I find that if I cut them, I get more out of them. I do not buy any potatoes from the store. I like to use organic seed potatoes. That way I'm not introducing any disease to the soil. I've got to go ahead and get these potatoes planted. I'll be planting the Yukon Golds and the butterballs. As you can see, I've been doing a lot to the garden area. I haven't got my fence in yet. I did get my box moved where I'll be planting some stuff in that, but I also added some cow manure to this area. I've added some of our goat manure, and I've also made some raised beds here. Now we've planted potatoes in here about 2 years ago, and we had a humongous harvest. So there are some gaps in here. And I haven't decided this year if I'm going to be planting in anything in between the rows, but I know I will probably put down plastic and straw. The reason I like to use the raised beds like this is because there's a lot of room for the roots and tubers to expand, and they don't have to fight for the light, and it cuts down on diseases. And the thing with growing great big potatoes, lots of potatoes, is you want to get your soil tested. Potatoes like a rather acidic soil, usually around a 5.0 or a 5.4. That way you know whether to add lime. That way you know whether to add any type of amendments or lime to your soil. And by testing your soil, you can avoid a lot of viruses and diseases that you might encounter with growing your potatoes. Potatoes can become phosphorus fixated, and they can have a lot of micronutrient deficiencies. But now I am using certified seed potatoes. And the certified seed potatoes are basically potatoes that have been certified by an agriculture agency or possibly a government agency. And they just certify them so you know they're clear of diseases and viruses. So I go ahead and cut down all my potatoes and I let them cure for a few days. Let's go ahead and get busy planting these potatoes. I'm going to be planting Yukon Golds in this bed here. And I've got 3 beds here, but I'll be planting Yukon Golds in this one, Yukon Golds in this one, and then butterballs in that one. Now I know I still have a lot of spacing here. I use this tool here. This is just from an old shovel. I'll put it down here and just make a little hole, usually about 3 inches deep. And you do not even have to put the little sprouts up. You can just place them in there, and I did add bone meal to this also. So I'm just going to cover these up. And I like to give them usually around 11-inch spacing. Place that in there. Well, we got it done. We got the potatoes planted. I got some of my red onions planted back there. I've got my garlic coming up, and I also got some straw around my garlic and my onion plants. Now, I have the Montana Zima garlic going, and I've got the silver whites. Those are both hardnecks. And then I've got some of my red onions going back there. I've got my straw put down. I probably got to get a little bit more straw, and I've got the plastic down. The plastic is to help with weeds, because not only do things grow super great here in Alaska because the abundance of sunshine, but the weeds grow awesome too. And so, you know, I understand this might not be the best method for growing potatoes, and there's tons of ways of growing potatoes. But potatoes like a lot of sun, they like a lot of water, and they like really good drainage. You don't want your potatoes in any type of soggy soil. So this is why I do it this way. It's a little bit more work, but we grow a ton of potatoes. So now if I can just keep the dogs out of it until we get the fence up, we're gonna be golden. So anyways, shout out to the Shed Warriors. Hope you guys like this video. Bye now.